They decided to go down the on-ramp, you know, the opposite side of traffic. This is something that I've never seen before. Hey guys, Dennis Machina here. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I had every intention of vlogging my experience at Florida Supercon. It's my first time going to a con, and what better time to make my first vlog than there to really show you guys what I was experiencing, what I was seeing. But there are a few key points that I forgot to do. One, I didn't narrate while I was filming. Number two, I didn't show my face at all. And number three, I missed out on a lot of key moments that truly made the experience memorable. Now, I'm gonna do the best that I can with the footage that I got to sort of piece together everything that happened and try my best to really show you what happened. Now, before we get into it, please go over and support my channel. You can do so by going right below this video, giving that like button some love, and if you're new here, click that subscribe button and ring the notification bell because I put up new videos every single day, and every little bit of support helps. Without any further ado, let's go. Florida Supercon took place at the Miami Beach Convention Center from July 4th through the 7th. Now, I decided to skip out on July 4th because, as you guys know, I have a dog, and we live around people who tend to light off fireworks all throughout the day, and I felt it was better for me to stay home with him to try to comfort him and try to help him feel as safe as I possibly can make him feel. Now, moving on to day 2 of Supercon, my first day there, I went with my good friends Nathan and Carolyn, and as I stated, I had every intention of making this a vlog, so much so that I recorded an intro, I recorded video footage of the drive up, which I've seen done in many different vlogs, I recorded my steps walking up to the convention center, I recorded some of the booths that I thought looked really cool, and I even recorded the end of a wrestling event that I saw, but that was pretty much it. I missed out on a lot of very important moments, like purchasing amazing artwork from very talented people to meeting, I don't know, my childhood hero. Now, before I talk about the artists that I purchased from, just know that all their links will be in the description, so if you're at all interested in anything you see, I will leave them down there. Now, first, I purchased these 2 prints that are characters in the Metal Gear Solid series. Now, I say plural because they are 2 different characters, even though they look almost exactly the same. I know it's incredibly confusing, but just stay with me here. The first is from Metal Gear Solid 2, the second is from Metal Gear Solid 3. Now, what I really liked about these prints were the design and how they felt. They both looked and felt completely different to anything that I ever really seen before. Plus, the guy is incredibly friendly, he's incredibly talented, he also does different other comic book characters, other video game characters. So if you're at all interested, like I said, his link will be in the description below. Moving on to the next print that I saw, this I was just absolutely blown away by. I was a fan of the other person's art, don't get me wrong, but these were just absolutely amazing. There was one where Iron Man, you just turn it just a little bit, you can see him morphing back into Tony Stark. And the one that really blew me away was Tommy Oliver's character from Power Rangers and sort of cycling through some of his characters. I just had to buy it. It looked too cool for me to buy, and that was one of the things that I sort of went into this con was I knew I was going to spend some money, but I didn't want to spend it needlessly. I wanted to buy some really cool shit. I really think I accomplished that by buying this. Now, as we move on further into the day, we check out some more booths. And it gets to be around the time for my photo op where I get to meet one of my childhood heroes, who is Jason David Frank, who plays Tommy Oliver throughout the Power Rangers franchise. For this picture, I really wanted to go all out because I don't know how many more times I'm gonna get to be able to do this, so I decided to wear my Power Rangers shirt that is dedicated to him, bring the Saba sword with me, which is his weapon as the White Ranger, and as you can hear, it still works. Now, leading up to it, which is what I should have recorded, I was so incredibly nervous, but it was nervous in a good way. It was nervous in a way that I was incredibly excited to meet my childhood hero. But then I got a text message saying that they were ready to line up for the photo op, and I decided to head on over. And being that I have one of these, which is a VIP badge, basically states that if there's any lines for anything, I can be in what's called a fast lane, so I can be one of the first people to get an autograph, or in this case, a photo op. Now, I expected to be one of the first to get a photo op with him. I didn't expect to be the very first, which I was. So they decided to line everybody up, and they scanned my ticket, and I was waiting behind the curtain, and I could see him through the curtain. I'm like, oh my god, there he is. And I was trying so hard to contain my excitement. I don't know if you could tell by this picture, but I'm just so giddy. It's just beyond giddy of being able to be standing next to someone who I admired so much when I was a kid and throughout my life. And a very cool thing was he mentioned how much he liked my shirt, and he couldn't have been any nicer. He's just one of those guys who really gets fans and really gets their excitement and talks to everybody, which is just so much more amazing. He's such an incredible human being. So from there, I hurried out and I got my picture printed out, and I got it emailed to me, which is what you're seeing here. For the rest of the day, it was basically filled with more walking around to some different events, just a whole hell of a lot of walking, so much so my legs were legitimately bothering me towards the end of it. So we basically didn't end up leaving the area until a little after 11. Then we decided to go to a Checkers that was close by, picked up some burgers. I got dropped off at home, and that was the end of our day. Moving on to day 3 of Supercon, which is a day that I didn't go. I had originally planned on going, but it conflicted with a wrestling event that I wanted to go to that also had an early meet and greet. So the photo op that I was going to get that day had to be moved to the next morning. Fast forward to the end of that day, I went to this wrestling event. There was no meet and greet for this particular wrestler that I wanted to meet, which was Mick Foley, because he didn't arrive until halfway through the show. So I would have been able to do this photo op, drive all the way back to Coral Springs to attend this wrestling event. Even though it probably would have been a little difficult, I still would have been able to pull it off. Now moving on to the final day of Florida Supercon, the day that I actually went because of the photo op. This is one hell of a story, so please try and stay with me on this. Photo op that I was supposed to go to was scheduled for 11 a.m. and we decided to leave extra early, so it was going to put us there about 10:25, 10:30 given traffic. We had absolutely no idea what was in store for us because the GPS said 10:25, so we figured everything was going to be fine. Boy, was it not. We eventually got into a bit of a slowdown, and the time for our arrival there started getting later and later. I wasn't really panicking too much, and then we just went to a complete and utter stop to where we were sitting there for a good 10-15 minutes wondering what the hell is going on. We're looking on our phones to try to see if there's any sort of traffic report, anything like that. Nothing. Then finally, on the GPS, you could see the symbols for accidents. I don't know what it's like in other states or even other countries, but in Florida, we have what's called express lanes. Today, the express lanes were supposed to be closed. Unfortunately, many people completely disregarded it because they wanted to get around this mess. So much so that it was completely backed up. And then there is the area between the last lane and the guardrail, which is not supposed to be a lane, which was a lane. For some reason, I don't remember who exactly started it, but one person did it, and then once one person does it, a whole bunch of other people just filled it right next to us. Now, I don't know if it was the cops that told them to do this, or they all just decided to do this on their own. They decided to go down the on-ramp, the opposite side of traffic. This is something that I've never seen before. I'm sure many of you have probably dealt with this, but this was the first time I was seeing this, and it was just so bizarre to me. After that, we were finally able to see what was causing the mess, and there were a few cars that had damage to it, but there was one that just looked absolutely mangled, just really, really chewed up. I really hope whoever was in that car was okay. I honestly just have no idea. I've been trying to look around, but I really couldn't find any information on it. Now, GPS had us getting there at a little after 11, And even though we tried our best to get there a little bit sooner, it was only by a couple of minutes. From there, I was dropped off in front of the convention center. I ran as fast as I could. I was completely out of breath because unfortunately, where they take the photo ops is on the complete other side of this hall. So I'm running and I'm stopping and I'm running and I'm stopping because I'm just absolutely exhausted. The people who I was getting a photo op with, I should probably mention, are the Young Bucks. For those of you who aren't wrestling fans, they are a very popular tag team right now, and they have been for a little while. They're kind of a huge deal to me, and they really pushed me to get a ticket to go to this thing. Originally, Jason David Frank got me interested. The Young Bucks really pushed me over top to buy the ticket, to buy the photo op. I'm full on decked out in Young Bucks gear. I had my Young Bucks pops with me because I figured since I brought my Saba sword as a prop for my picture with Jason David Frank, I thought it would be a great idea to bring on a prop for the Young Bucks. So I get there, again, it's a little after 11, and I ask them, if they're still there or whatever. They go and see if they are, and I'm sitting there, I'm waiting in the line, and I'm hoping for some sort of miracle at that point, but unfortunately it wasn't meant to be. So I was directed towards where you purchase photo ops. I was told that you could exchange or get a refund. Then I was corrected that I would have to exchange. So I looked at the other guests and I'm thinking, okay, now who can I get a picture with that I already know and I'm a huge fan of? So I ended up picking Danielle Panabaker. For those of you who don't know who she is, she plays one of the major characters in the TV show The Flash. From there, I went to go sit down because, for one, I had to catch my breath, and two, I was just so disappointed. Then a fellow wrestling fan who, coincidentally, I met randomly at a wrestling show I went to a while back, saw me and chatted with me for a little bit before leaving. I finally met up with my friends, and I just sort of got my shit together. I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna get a picture with this person, I'm going to at least make it look like I was there to originally see her. Because I would have went in there with my Young Bucks t-shirt, and that obviously has nothing to do with The Flash. So the first thing I thought was maybe to find a Funko Pop of her character, Killer Frost. Unfortunately, I couldn't find that anywhere, and we looked like really everywhere where there were pops, and let me tell you, there were pops all over the fucking place. Then I was thinking, okay, maybe get a Flash pop, and then it kind of hit me like, oh, maybe I should just bring in a Flash t-shirt, maybe I should just do that. So now I'm not looking for a pop, I'm looking for a Flash t-shirt. I'm looking all over the place from one shop to another. I ended up finding this one place, and it was a medium. For those of you who don't know, I'm not exactly the biggest person. I prefer to wear small t-shirts. I couldn't find a small, so I just said, fuck it. I'm gonna buy this medium t-shirt, I'm gonna wear it, and it's gonna be fine. So I quickly get changed. I run over to the photo ops because it's now 10 minutes from when it's supposed to happen. And I get there and they're already all lined up and ready to go. Again, being that I got this VIP pass, I was able to be one of the first people to meet her, which was absolutely an incredible experience. At first, I thought she was just so tall, as you can see in this picture, but really, she's only 5'6". So this woman was wearing heels and made me feel short as hell. Damn you for making me feel short as hell. I am a huge fan of you, but damn it, I feel short all the time, and she made me feel even shorter. But it was fine because it was cool. She was famous. I already knew who she was. Many people in the comic book world knows who she is. From there, I got my picture. I went to go over and meet up with my friends. And we talked for a little bit and saw that the Young Bucks were doing a Q&A. So I'm like, okay, let me go run over to that so I can at least see them in person, even though it's not how I wanted to. For those of you who don't know, they have a weekly series on YouTube called Being the Elite, which basically has them showing stuff behind the scenes / skits. And yours truly was able to be featured in this week's video, though it wasn't exactly the way I had hoped. It was just me holding up my pop because I'm really short. I am 5'5", and everybody there was a lot taller than me. And I thought the only way I was going to be able to be seen was if I held my hands up very high. And then after that, I was able to meet up with my friends again. We did a lot more walking around. I went back to that one place that had those amazing prints that I was showing you before, and this time I got one based off of Vegeta, a major character in the Dragon Ball Z series. It cycles through 3 different forms of his hair, which is really cool. The last thing we did there is we saw this band play medleys of different anime and video game themes. It was comprised of, I believe, a drummer, a saxophone player, French horn, flute, an actual bass, and I think that's it. I don't remember if there was any other ones that I missed, but it was really cool. It was really fun, and after that, we just decided we were all tired and decided to head home earlier than we did on Friday. I came back here. I was absolutely exhausted. I watched some TV, and then once I hit the bed, I just passed the hell out, and that was basically it for that weekend. I'm gonna try to get better at vlogging in the future because I would like to do more of it. I don't know if it was just because that I felt weird holding a camera in front of my face and talking in front of people, or whether I was just trying to enjoy the experience for what it was. So if you want to see any more vlogging or in real life stuff from me, please comment, let me know down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, share this video, subscribe if you have subscribed already, ring the notification bell because I put up new videos every single day, and I will see you guys next time.